There are three questions that every real estate agent should be able to ask and answer in connection with the transaction that they're working on. These three questions stem from a systematic approach to conducting business, the issues of agency disclosure, and the issues of compensation. The three questions are, number one, what kind of transaction am I working on? Number two, who am I representing? And number three, how am I getting paid? With respect to question number one, what kind of transaction am I working on? This can take many forms. Questions such as, is this a commercial or residential transaction? Is it a condo or a co-op? Am I dealing with a REBNY or a non-REBNY member? Are all important questions that the agent is going to need to know in order to plan out the transaction. Ultimately, question one becomes the blueprint for the transaction for the agent. Question two is, who am I representing? New York State law requires the real estate agent to disclose who they're representing in a transaction. This question then forces the agent to say, who am I representing? Such question is not always easily answered. For example, in an open listing, it may not be clear whether the landlord has an anticipation that the agent will be representing the landlord or the tenant. The third question is, how am I getting paid? And again, this is an important question. We all like to get paid for our work. And therefore, I want to make sure that you're answering this question, and you're also putting it usually into some type of agreement form. While sometimes it's very straightforward how you're getting paid. For example, in the Universal Co-Brokerage Agreement language, it requires the REBNY members to co-broke. But there are other situations where it may not be so clear. So for example, if you're working with a non-REBNY member, you need to make sure that it's very clear how you're going to get paid. And again, I strongly recommend that you always put those agreements into writing.